Happy Halloween, everyone! I am back for my last and final Halloween look, and today we are going to be doing steampunk nails. I have been wanting to do this for a long time. I have been playing around with ideas for months, and so when I got this sub bag from Sparkle & Co., I just knew it was meant to be, and I was just going to have to push forward and do it and hopefully be happy with the outcome. So that's what we're going to do today, and I am just showing you all the cute little things that they put in their packages. I am obsessed with steampunk. I love it so much. This is the nail polish. I want it all dip sub bag, and so I'm going to show you everything that's included in this sub bag. That is a nail polish, which is beautiful. I don't use a whole lot of nail polish except for on my toes. But it's a really nice color. It reminds me very much of that dark metal that I see in steampunk stuff a lot. And then, this beautiful, beautiful chrome. I think it's Victorian Goth. Yes, Victorian Goth is the name of it. But it's gorgeous. I can't wait to see how that looks over different colors. But next is a little item. Now, I've seen these before, and I've actually owned a couple already. They were a stocking stuffer that I did for my girls a few years back, but it's a nail polish holder. This was before I was dipping, guys. So like 5-6 years ago. But it's a bottle holder, and you put the bottle on it, you slip your fingers through it, and you can hold the bottle while you polish your nails. In a second, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. But it's nifty if you're a nail polisher. I wouldn't do this with dip because, I mean, if you spill it, that's going to be a mess I wouldn't want to clean up. But for regular nail polish, or even gel, it might be okay. But I find them a little cumbersome, so I'll probably put that aside. So every month, one of their liquids is included in the sub bag. So this month it was the pH Prep. I don't use it much, but it's good to have just in case. I do use it on other people, like when I do my sister's nails, when I do my daughter's nails. Anyway, so that's nice. You also get 6 colors included in the sub bag. And these are the 2 colors I'm using, Prim and Copper. And I'm also going to be using, it's a beautiful, that is the most beautiful copper flakies. It's so dense with flakies, it's crazy. And then this is Leather Corset, which is a black dip, but it also glows. So that is a big thing this season. Black that glows is huge. Lots of companies are making it. And this one glows really nicely. And these are the metal watch pieces that I will be incorporating into my mani. That also came with the sub bag. It's part of the steampunk theme. It's pretty awesome. I had some of those already that I'd been playing with that I got off of Amazon, so I can link those for you. I didn't end up using the ones I got off Amazon, but they're very similar. So this is Prim and Copper, sorry. Prim and Copper. It is gorgeous. You're going to see when I dip my finger into this. It's actually 1 dip coverage, but I do 2 full dips because I like the strength and I'm a creature of habit. But I'm not going to show you all the dips because the nail art portion of this video takes so long that I skipped a lot of the basic dip stuff that you guys can, I'll link a bunch of my other videos that show my full dip process, my scrub ombre process. Excuse me. In fact, my previous video, the one that I did for breast cancer, had a scrub ombre in it. I think it was 2 videos ago, the one with Gigi's Nail Co. And I will link that video as well if you want to see how to do a scrub ombre. But I am not going to show all of that because the nail art part with the watch pieces and all of that takes a little time. So I skip around a lot, and as it is, this video is very long, guys. For me, this is a long video. Usually my videos are between 20 and 25 minutes, maybe a little longer than that, but never usually a half an hour or more. So I apologize for the length, but I cut out as much as I possibly could without risking the quality of the tutorial, which to me is more important than length, I guess. And I am going to put timestamps down in the description box, so if you're interested in skipping around and seeing how I do different parts of this mani, that is also something that you can do if you don't want to listen to me ramble on about nonsense, which sometimes I do, but most of the time I try to keep the topic of conversation a little bit interesting and on topic, so I do my best. Anyway, this color right here that I'm showing you is sort of a jelly beige color. Or a fleshy, more fleshy, I don't know. I needed a color that was sort of a jelly beige, I guess. This is what I had envisioned in my head anyway. And I didn't own anything like it. So I made it. I always have a large amount of a clear acrylic powder laying around because I tend to make my own dip powders sometimes just for fun, or also in a situation like this where I need a color that I don't own, which seems impossible considering how many dip powders I own, but I didn't have a jelly beige, so there you have it. So I went ahead and created it, and I'm going to apply one layer of the jelly beige. I don't have a name for it, sorry. Jelly beige sounds weird, but I don't have a name for it. So I'm going to lay a layer of that down, and then I am going to scrub ombre this black called Leather Corset from the Sub Bag to create sort of a shadow where I'm going to place my watch pieces. That's kind of the vision that I had. I just always think of steampunk as being kind of dark, kind of monotone, and sort of shadowy, dark metallic, like coppers and bronzes and gunmetal, and not a whole lot of shiny metal, with kind of a mixture of stripes and lace and leather. It's a really interesting aesthetic, steampunk. It really is. So that's why I am really into shows like The Nevers and Shadow and Bone, and I love movies like Mortal Engines and what was another one? Oh, all the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. Those are all very steampunk type movies. I love that aesthetic. I don't know, it's just, it just draws me in. I find it fascinating. And I love costuming when people do like the steampunk costumes. In fact, like I'm slowly collecting items so that someday I can have a fantastic steampunk costume, because I think it's so cool. I know I'm a little nerdy, but that's okay. It's cool to be a nerd these days, right? Right? So I'm so nerdy that I got so excited because I actually found, you remember how much I love fairies, right? I found steampunk fairy wings on Amazon. I'm so excited. I've put them aside, and I'm hoping maybe by next year I'm going to have a full steampunk fairy costume. I say next year because these kinds of things take time. You want to find stuff that's quality, and sometimes it can be a little bit expensive. So I'm going to buy a little bit here, a little bit there. Hopefully by next year, I'll have it all together. I'm so excited about it. Plus, now that I've got this steampunk technique down for my nails, I'm all set. I can do this again next year and have the whole look. It's just going to be so much fun. So as I said, I skipped the second layer of that ombre because it was just more of the same, and I didn't want to be too redundant and waste too much time because this is already really long, as I said. So this is where I'm going to apply a layer of clear dip powder and scrub into that because, as I have explained previously, clear dip powder has no color. So it picks up the pigment of the darker color a lot better than anything that has pigment in it. So I always end with scrubbing into clear just to deepen that color. And I am focusing on the clear layer. I'm going to focus the depth of the color more towards my cuticle so that it kind of fades out more like a shadow. Because that's really the look I'm going for here. I want it to be kind of dark towards the cuticle and like fade out more towards the center of the nail. And I'm doing this sort of on a diagonal. So that's what's happening here in this segment. I'm not going to talk anymore about that. I'm going to let you just watch. And then I will come back and we're going to start the nail art portion of this with some fun transfer foils and loose foils that I found. So I'll be back in a few minutes. So I love Prim Copper. I think it's a beautiful color, and I probably could have just left it the way it was, but I kind of like the idea of adding some depth and dimension to it by throwing some metallic foils on there. And the first thing I'm going to do is apply a layer of base because, well, I'm using gels today. And this is unusual for me because, as many of you know, I don't use gel very often unless I'm doing nail art. And this nail art definitely called for gels. So everything that I'm doing required some form of gel or another. So I'm applying a base just so that when I apply my foil glue and then my top coat, I won't encounter any peeling or chipping or anything like that. So I'm starting off with that. And then I'm going to go in with, I think I used the foiling around from Triple D to both nails that have Prim and Copper on them, because as you'll see, the foil colors that I choose to use really pull the other colors from the other three nails in, and I think it makes it a more consistent look. So you'll see what I mean, but right now I'm just going to apply foiling around. I'm curing everything for 30 seconds, the base coat 30 seconds, and the foil glue for 30 seconds. And then we're going to get into the foils. So now that everything is cured, I'm going to take this transfer foil here. Now this is a small piece of like a gunmetal metallic color that came from a pack that I got from iGel Beauty. It's the solid like metallic transfer foils. They have them all colors. But this one's sort of like a gunmetal color. And I thought that would be nicer to use rather than a really shiny silver. So what I did was I crumpled it up so that it would be an inconsistent pattern and spaces in between the foils, so that when I dabbed it on, see, I'm not laying it down, I'm just kind of dabbing it. And that will give it sort of like an inconsistent antique-y pattern, I think. That's what I was sort of going for. I was watching Miss Jo's Nail Co. And by the way, if you guys are not watching her videos, you're missing out. She is a blast. She's fun and she has some great creative ideas. So that's where I got crumpling the foil from. I watched actually her Steampunk video, which I will link down in the bottom. I got some of the ideas for this from watching her video, but also like thousands of other videos. But hers is the one that like I saw most recently. So I'm gonna I'm gonna link hers down in the description box for you guys if you're interested in watching that. She's a hoot. So I also got these really cool loose foils off of Amazon, and they're kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but they look kind of antique-y, like that look that brass and copper get when they are starting to tarnish. You know, they get that greenish blue tint. Yeah, these foils have that effect and they look so cool, and I wanted to incorporate that. So I'm breaking them up into smaller pieces, and then I'm not going to use any other glue or gel or anything. I am just going to pick it up, put it on my finger, and I'm going to press it into the foil glue that is still tacky, and it works perfectly. And I really love the effect that it has. See, I just dab, stick it on, dab, stick it on, dab. That's all I did. And then I am going to just top coat right over this. And then these two nails will be done. And we'll get into placing the watch pieces, because that is a little bit more involved. Okay, here comes the fun part. I am gathering my materials. I'm going to use some Caviar beads in different colors. I got these at Michael's, so I can't really link them for you, but if you go to the glitter aisle or the bead aisle, one or the other, I think I got it in the glitter aisle, but it's like more caviar beads than I will ever need in a lifetime, and it's all the different metal colors. Like it has black, it has copper, it has silver, it has gold, it has bronze, like all the colors. So I am using those. And the watch pieces from Sparkle & Co. So everything's together, and now I'm going to start off like I did before with a base coat of gel, just so I don't have any peeling or chipping or anything. So base coating everything, and then I'm going to start with builder gel, and we'll get to that in a sec. Okay, here we go with the fun part. I am going to use my Dipalicious Clear. I like to use Dipalicious because they are HEMA-free and they are, you know, really good for... Wow, I cannot get my words together. Good for anyone who is sensitive to gel, and I have recently determined that I have a sensitivity to some gel products. I'm not exactly sure what ingredient it is that I'm sensitive to, but I had a reaction recently, and it was shortly after I did my dragon nails. So I am trying to avoid any gel products that I am unsure about. I'm going to stick with my Dipalicious that I know is HEMA and I think 9-free. I'll have to double check that, but yeah. So I'm going to do a very, very thin layer of builder gel because the layers that I'll be using after this to cover up the metal pieces to encapsulate them are going to be a little bit thicker. So I'm going to try to keep this as thin as possible. Now I am going to use this little cutie. It is a tool that I found on Etsy, and it is going to help me bend. I have two of them, one larger and one smaller. And I'm going to use them to help me bend the metal pieces so that they will lay flat on my nail. Isn't that cute? I love these things. I have been wanting to use metal pieces on my nails forever, and never did because I didn't want to have to use the amount of builder gel I would need to use to encapsulate them if they wouldn't lay flat. So now it's opening up a whole new world for me because I have tons of cute little metal pieces that I've just never used for that reason. So I'm going to lay the gear that I choose in the center of this little tool, and then I'm going to take this little round piece and I'm going to press it. I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know that there's a technical term for it. And that, as you can see, it just slightly curved the gear so that it would lay completely flat on my nail, exactly where I want it. I cannot even tell you how excited I am that I found these little tools. It made this process so much easier, and it made things go so much faster, and it meant I could use less builder gel to encapsulate. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to let you watch me place these. Then I'm going to randomly add some caviar beads around the gears to add a little bit more depth and detail. And I am only going to show one nail for this process. I'm only going to show you how I do this on my ring finger because I do the exact same thing on my middle and my thumb. And as I said, this video was just becoming really long. So hang out and watch the rest of this, and I will be back when it is time to encapsulate. All right, now that I have flash cured and placed everything the way I want it, I then fully cured all of the nails. And now I am going in with my Dipalicious Clear Builder Gel, and I'm going to encapsulate, but I'm going to do this in 2 layers. And there's a couple of reasons why I'm going to do it that way. It allows me to do thinner layers so that I don't end up with ridiculously bulky nails. But also, I needed to make sure that I was covering the Caviar beads really, really well, because those actually stood out more than the metal pieces. If I had avoided the Caviar beads, which I didn't want to do because I think they look really cool, I could have probably gone a little bit thinner even, but yeah, so 2 layers. And the other reason I'm doing that is because the thicker your layer of gel is, the more you risk a heat spike in the lamp. So because it has to penetrate the whole layer of gel. I'm not a nail tech, and I am not a doctor or any kind of expert, but my experience is that if your gel is too thick, it gets hot in the lamp. So I'm trying to do 2 thinner layers instead of 1 thick layer. Does that make sense? And I feel like I have a lot more control that way. I'm not risking it, seeping into my sidewalls or anything like that. So I'm just being super careful with my builder gel. And now with some editing magic, here I am all filed up, and we are applying a base coat. Again, just to avoid some peeling or lifting that might occur. So we're going to get that on, and then we are going to apply the shiny glossy top coat. I am using my Valentino Beauty Pure base and top coat. I don't know 100% if they are HEMA free. I think they are. Nothing in the ingredients look like, I don't know. I will have to double check that, but I am being extremely, extremely careful not to get it on my skin, and to be very, very careful with my cleanup. I'm hoping that, and I'll tell you, I've had this on for a couple of days and I have not had a reaction at all. If I had, I would have taken them off immediately. But I'm hoping that the Dipalicious being on my nails is kind of creating a barrier that will protect me from having a reaction. Like I said, I am being extremely careful when I come close to my cuticles and my sidewalls to not get any on there. And I am using a brush for cleanup with a little bit of alcohol if I need to, just to be on the safe side, because I am being super conscious of that now. As many of you know, I do have psoriasis on my nail beds and my fingers sometimes. I have flare-ups, and so I was not sure at first if I was having a reaction to the gel or if I was just having a psoriasis flare-up. It could be a combination of the two, but I'm just being super careful. So I'm going to cure these in the lamp for a full minute, and I will be back for cuticle oil. All done, and I am using my Candy Skincare Cuticle Oil. This is part of the duo that she made for Halloween called, this one's called Zombie Brains, and it smells delicious, like, I don't know, a cookie of some kind. It's very desserty smelling, and I love it. So I am adding back some moisture into my cuticles, and I hope that you guys really enjoyed this. It was quite a process, but definitely worth it. I am so excited about these nails. They came out so much better than I ever expected they would. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know it was a long one, and if you stuck with me, thank you so much for being here. If you are new and you like this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would help me out a great deal. I did end up getting a boo-boo, oh no, but I'm okay, don't worry. I hope to see you all in my next video. Have a great Halloween and stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye now.